Listen, I get it. Capsule wardrobes are sexy. They promise this perfect modern wardrobe and you only need 12 pieces and then all of your outfits are covered that you could possibly need. And don't get me wrong, I love the idea of a capsule wardrobe, but I also want the wardrobe to feel like me. So I set out to create my own capsule wardrobe just for me. And let me tell you, it did not go as planned. It took longer than planned. I actually walked away with 2 capsule wardrobes, you'll see why, and it definitely had more than 12 pieces. But oh my gosh, I love it.
So my first step is going wherever I want to go when I want to be inspired or fall asleep really quickly at night. So if you don't follow me on Pinterest, I have one. I don't know how to use it. I'm still figuring that out, but I thought I would start a board on there. So the first thing I need to think is the kind of outfits I'm going to be wearing over the next 6 months.
Just for the next 6 months, because that's as far in advance as I plan.
First off, I'm thinking cozy. Once we start getting into March, April, May, it's just like rain. Not that it's not raining now. There's gonna be some sunny days, so I'm gonna want still these wintry colors, but start transitioning them. So I'm gonna look for winter outfits. And I'm realizing like this Pinterest account doesn't have the algorithm like my personal account does. So I'm gonna put some extra words on this. Let's just say stylish. I like this. Like that is cute. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. Like this one is cute, but like I'm not gonna wear a mini skirt. Like that is cute. It is open toe, which not super fun when it's cold or when it's raining, but I'm still gonna save it. If I see something where it's not something exactly as I would wear it, I'm still gonna save it because this is just an inspo board. I wanna try clicking on some other things so that the algorithm brings me something a little bit different. It's feeling very one note just as I'm scrolling. The longer you do this, the more options it'll start giving you. I'm gonna take a week and save a bunch of things to this board. This is just step 1 and it's a very long step.
I cannot stress enough the importance of actively seeking out other search terms. Pinterest is designed to show you what you've liked before. So if you've pinned one kind of outfit, it will just show you different variations of that exact same outfit. So add words you don't think are part of your style. I would never describe my style as goth, but adding that word got me to see new ways of wearing similar pieces or colors. I did this process for over a week, pinning in spare minutes in the day until I had an overwhelming board of so many outfits, I felt lost. Like I had some ideas, but I was missing the step on how to implement them into a repeatable capsule wardrobe. This is totally a side tangent, but I'm kind of proud of this find because so many notebooks that are just basic and inexpensive have that ugliness on the front of like, this is wide rule paper. This doesn't have any annoying things on the front, and it was less than $8. There's just something about writing something down and working with it on paper. I just sort of want to be able to cross things off and circle them. I have my board, which is of course linked below. I like doing this on a desktop because you can see more pins. Why can't I just drag and drop into this thing? Oh, okay. Once I knew what I was doing, I used Pinterest section feature to organize my pins into, well, sections, or folders is maybe a better way to put it. So I started with the outfit I saw the most, which in this shot you can see was a black top and light bottoms, and I kept my outfit categories really simple, just the basic building blocks for building those outfits. Then I got to work on a category that definitely ended up having the most pins, which was beige and cream monochrome outfits. I loved this color scheme for spring, and it was definitely during this section that I realized how many pins I had repinned multiple times. Monochrome. That's the 3rd time I've pinned that one. Okay, we've got some duplicates. So I had sections that were named after outfits, but then I started to notice some recurring pieces, and I moved those into their own sections. So for example, I made one for puffer jackets and moved the 5 puffer pins I had in there to that section. And then I did the same for one called cardigans and sweaters to point out that I kind of wanted one of those pieces, but they didn't live in a full outfit category. So as I'm creating sections, it's getting harder and harder to group pins together. I'm feeling really inspired. Okay, so next we have, I don't know, which one do we want to categorize next? I'd already sectioned off the easy ones, and the ones I was left with really seemed to float, but I'd stare at it long enough and eventually I'd figure out one more section to add until I was eventually down to just a few single pins and several sections within my board, which was exciting but missing a key piece, and actually several of all the pieces of a capsule wardrobe.
Now I'm going to take my notebook and I'm gonna start to write down from the 9, we're gonna keep it really high level. To create an all black outfit, I'm going to need black bottoms, black top. Then we have a white blouse, no coat. Of the 3 pins I have of white blouse, no coat, 2 are with light jeans. So I'm gonna just write down light jeans and then a white blouse. I'm gonna call it a button up or button down. Button up, button down. Jeans with blazers. We already have jeans, so we'll need a blazer. Next, we have beige and cream monochrome. So that means I'm going to need a light top, light bottoms. That was a really high level view. I want to review all of my pins and just see if there are any pieces that I pinned particularly because I liked that piece. Noticing when I look at a sweater and say, oh my gosh, that's super cute, I'm noticing it's either a mock neck, a turtleneck, or some kind of collared sweater. So I'm gonna say sweater with, I don't know, neck interest. So I've ended at 18 items on my capsule wardrobe, not including shoes yet. So let's go shopping in my closet. So I wrote everything down in a nice non-scribbled page so I could see it all really clearly. And now I'm just gonna go grab these pieces for my wardrobe. And this is why it's so helpful to keep these things really generic, like black bottoms. I definitely have a pair of black bottoms. So this gives me a lot of freedom to play around with what I already own. My 1 pair of wide beige pants need to desperately be tailored, so this will probably be the kick in the pants I need. Early on in this process, I realized I really wanted a pair of good faux leather pants, so I went and ordered these and I freaking love them. I have a pair of black joggers that also need to be tailored. That's why the tags are still on them. I got this like months ago, so good on me for taking my own advice about going to the tailor. So I'm purposefully not wearing any jewelry because I just don't want to distract from how I feel about an outfit just because I might be accessorizing it wrong. So I'm slowly just trying to try on things, see how they work together. So for example, here's an all black outfit from my board. I'm able to see that I really like the black leather, faux leather with just like a cotton tee, and I like those. But I can also play around and try it on with like, what are one of my options? White button up. I need to try these white button ups, so this is a good test. And I would want to tuck this in. All the outfits on my board had these white button ups tucked in, which may pose a problem when this is a very oversized button up. I may need to find like just a standard, not super tailored, but maybe not super oversized. Yeah, it's feeling just a little too big, I think. Like, it looks fine, it's just not my favorite. And I wanna feel really confident in what I'm wearing. So I have this other button up, might be a little bit summery. And then what do we feel about distressed jeans this year? It's definitely summery. I'm never gonna wear this in the winter, so this is not gonna be, this piece at least is not gonna be part of my 6-month capsule wardrobe unless I'm really desperate to like layer a long coat over it. So I was able to find most coats in my closet. I did find a button up to wear as a jacket because it's just too thick to tuck into anything. Do I think it goes with this particular outfit? No, but it's a start at something and I don't know what it is. I also have like a black blazer. Does it really fit any of my boards? No, and part of it would be because like a button up and a blazer looks really formal. So this does not work, and that's okay. I'm not afraid to put on outfits that I'm like, ugh, never mind. That is not a reflection at all of whether or not I have good style. It's just like, oh, well, that one didn't work. Let's try again with something else. No, I'm starting to get the feeling it might be the top. Like, this is fine, this is cute, there's nothing wrong with this. It just doesn't match the vibe of my inspo boards. And I think it's the shirt that is just not fitting any of these things. So the shirt is out. So I was in the middle of getting changed. I wanted to try these black joggers and see what I could pair with it, what I like with them. And it was posing an interesting, like, what I want this style to look like, what do I own, and what is my body type dilemma. So these joggers are pretty baggy. I mean, I need to get them taken in. They're voluminous. That's the point of joggers. They are supposed to be voluminous. So I want to put something on top that is tighter. I have one tight black top, but I have nothing else that's tight.
And with so many things on my list that are more voluminous, I'm gonna need more tight options to make that all balance out and make it feel like I'm comfortable in this. The other options on my list are light tops. So that would be white. And if I'm gonna go super contrasty with black and white, I should have rebuttoned this up all the way. If it's gonna be white and tight, that's extra contrast. So we're not only contrasting colors, but we're also contrasting proportions. So I'm going to wanna pick a white that is the most balancing for my body, which is gonna be a high neck white shirt, which I don't have. Ooh, I actually have an example of this. I do have a light tank top, 1 second. Ignore the bra straps. So you can see having something loose, baggier, more voluminous on the bottom, I want to pair it with something higher necked for my short torso, tighter, light colored. This works. I'm finding something really important as I'm going through all these different outfit options because there's all neutrals in this. So technically a lot of these things are interchangeable, but for some reason when I put them on, I'm like, it's not what I'm going for. And that's the distinction I'm finding. Makes it a little bit more interesting, but also a little bit more challenging because I can't just like intermix everything and feel like I am getting the style I want. But this one was definitely on the list of having a long, like just monochromatic beige and white look. And that looks good. All right, now I'm trying on these beige pants that I desperately need to get tailored. What I like about these ones is that they have an elastic back. So even though it can be really high rise if you want it to be, I can move it a little bit lower. Voluminous and high rise means I need to go tight and high neck up here. So I only have one option for that. And so I'm finding that my tops that I already own are kind of limiting to the direction I want my style to go. Like I feel like I have some good building blocks, but I think I need to write down my own outfit formulas for how I want to translate these outfits directly to my body so I can have like, I don't know, 10, I don't know how many I want to come up with, balanced outfits that I can start with as a base.
I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.
It was time to figure out these outfit formulas for my body type. I feel most comfortable and confident in my clothes when the proportions and contrast make me feel balanced. And this felt like an exercise I needed to write down to figure out. First, I listed all the bottoms I owned or wanted to be part of my capsule wardrobe. Then next to each pant, I'd write the top that could be paired with it in terms of tightness and volume, contrast and color, and the neckline given both of these options. Now, that was kind of a lot, so let's walk through one so you can understand how I make these style decisions. First on my list was black joggers. These are more voluminous and slightly higher rise. So because of that high rise, I pair that with something high neck, and because of the volume on the bottom, I chose a tight top. Then on to picking the general color, whether it's dark or light. Dark is monochrome, so that will always work to match. But since there are already two balancing elements between the tightness and the high neck, I can also choose a high contrast color and feel confident, as demonstrated with the beige top from earlier. So one pant can have more than one top that can go with it, and I used that method for each pair of pants. And it turned out there was a lot of overlap, which made it easy. And with that, I had the last piece I needed to finalize my capsule wardrobe, which was the exact outfits I'll create and wear with all of these pieces, and it was perfectly curated for me. So let me show you how to do this for you too. So after a month of doing all of this, I came up with two capsule wardrobes. One that fit the style I was going for and the pieces I would need to achieve that. The second one was actually taking that capsule wardrobe and implementing it to my body type, my lifestyle, and what I already owned.
Please explain.
In my general capsule wardrobe, I believe I counted 22 pieces. Definitely not 12. A lot of these items I kept really basic so that they could very liberally apply to what I might already have. So for bottoms, I have black bottoms, faux leather bottoms, light wash straight leg jeans, beige pants, and white or cream pants. Onto tops, we have a black top, a white button up, a light top, which could be white, beige, cream, even light gray, and then a sweater and a light color with neck interest. Super specific, but still super general. For a dress, I put a beige sweater dress. I would also think like a light sweater dress. I'm gonna say light sweater dress. It could be white, it could be beige, but with at least one slit. I like a double slit. A long coat in either beige or black, a blazer in either black or white, a long cardigan, a light puffer jacket, a light colored lightweight jacket. and then a black leather jacket or faux leather jacket. With the tops being so basic, I feel like the outerwear is where we get to add that interest to an outfit, and because it's winter and even spring, there's some nice warmer options, and as the weather starts getting warmer, we have some options that'll fit that too. As it gets even warmer, where you're shedding those layers, your pants are gonna start to be the star of the show rather than the top. So when it came to shoes, I know I didn't talk in this video very much about shoes, because what happened was I created all of these outfits and then went, what are the shoes that are going to fit the bottoms that I'm wearing? So I kept it pretty general. We have knee-high boots, white sneakers, because I'm obsessed. Open-toe sandals, which winter, not a good option for open-toe sandals. Spring, even then when it's really rainy, not a great option for open-toe sandals. However, if you're not gonna be outside for very long, like if you're gonna be inside in a very climate-controlled space, you don't have to worry about being cold. Open-toe sandals with so many of these outfits just make it look extra chic. And then pointed toe shoes. That could be heels, that could be flats, that could be boots in black and or beige. Those were the two colors I find myself gravitating towards when building outfits. And then I have to put bags on here because it just doesn't feel like a capsule wardrobe without it, but you need a small bag and a large bag. That's just life in general. Big, small, play with proportions, watch my other videos. So there all is. I have a link where you can shop all of these down below if that's of interest to you. Let's move on to my capsule wardrobe, because while that capsule wardrobe gets me excited because it's so flexible and playable for whatever you need it to be, I applied it to myself, and that's where I had so much fun. So when it came to applying that general capsule wardrobe into my capsule wardrobe, I kind of feel like I lost the term capsule. Over the years, I've collected a lot of different clothes, and so when it came to black bottoms, I already had several options that I could pull from. So I have a pair of black joggers, straight leg black pants, and wide leg black pants. So we have black bottoms, check. Faux leather pants, we have my black ones, check. Straight leg light wash jeans, all of these are pretty much staying the same. There's only one change that I identified as needing to add. My beige wide leg pants, they're definitely more of a deeper taupe, almost a gray. All of my bottoms colors were skewing a little dark, and as we get into spring, I know I'm gonna be wanting to wear a lot of more light toned options. When it came to tops, I had to drill down a little bit more specifically, especially on the black top and the light top. Those were very general, and so I had to apply them to my own body type. Because there's so many voluminous bottom pieces, I found that I needed a lot more tighter pieces. There are 3 types of tight high neck tops I identified as needing. One I already had, actually 2 I already had. Those 2 were the light beige high neck top and the black high neck top. All of these are tight, so I identified needing a white one. And then I also needed a tighter, long sleeve, deeper necklined tee, shirt, top. It felt like all of my tight options were becoming really high neck and mock neck, and I just wanted an option that wasn't a high neck. So adding some sleeves, keeping it a dark color will make that work, especially because most of my bottoms are dark colored. Also in that, I identified needing just a white, slightly loose but not super tight tee. I had one, I do not know where it went. It completely disappeared, but everything else pretty much stayed the same. The white button up for me being a little bit more tailored. Then when it came to outerwear, I love outerwear. I'm always cold, so it's a really great marriage. I wanted all of the colors, mainly having beige options, black options, and a couple white options. So a long beige coat, a long black coat, a long cardigan, a light puffer, a light jacket, the black leather jacket, a black blazer, and then a white blazer. So it doesn't feel like a lab coat or a doctor's coat. And then everything else pretty much stayed the same. But already since I've done that, I've been having so much fun shopping because I'm starting to check things off my list, and I've already ordered some things. So make sure to follow me over on Instagram, shameless plug. And then as I build my wardrobe, I'll be able to do more and more of these outfits that I'm seeing on my Pinterest board. And in the morning, instead of worrying about what I'm gonna wear, I can just go to my board, get inspired, grab some things in my closet from the designated section, and be good to go.
I'll find my way.